Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne. It is Sunday, February the 17th, the year 2019. Let's talk trading. Weekly, open, and gap. And as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3 pairs that haven't filled the gap. So once again, you have an opportunity to trade the weekly gap. Now, I want to bring up just a blank chart here, because a lot of people are asking, how do I enter? When do I enter? How do I set my stops? And you see, the thing about trading is you have to realize something. I've said it before. Doesn't matter why you entered the trade. Okay? Doesn't matter why. Once you put the trade on, you basically have to trade what's in front of you. Now, on Friday, and this is the H1 chart, you can see here, we had an H1 bar that was about 31 pips. Way high. Now, knowing that, when price came down here, it already had made a high, came back, and then it closed this way, because it didn't do this, and do this. At least I don't believe it did. So the point is, had you entered anywhere, say here or maybe there, as price started going up, even though it was a bear candle, the point is that price had already, exhausted its range, its normal range. So, even if you would put the trade on here, you'd only be risking 10 pips. Or not risking, but you could put a stop loss at 10 pips or so. So there wouldn't have been much to worry about, because remember, as we all know, we're going to have the same risk on any trade. So taking this trade right here was like, well, why not? Price had already bounced here, bounced there, and you see what happened since then. So why not? Were you afraid? I saw a good quote, and I'll probably talk about it later in the week. It's like, you know what? It's okay to hate to lose. It's not okay to be afraid to lose. Big difference. I hate to lose, but I'm not afraid. Because if you're afraid to lose, then trading's not, it just shouldn't be, one of your daily or regular recurring activities. You have to expect to lose sooner or later. That's just part of trading. What game does somebody win like all the time? Even the grandmasters in chess don't win all the time. They even lose games. So, that's pretty much the way it is. So, once again, you can just look at the chart and decide, based on those stats that I tell you guys about. We've got the range. We got the frequency distribution of the range. See here, we can switch to H1. And 1019, 60% of the time. So, look where it was. What was it, 30-some pips? It pretty much had used it up. So where was price going to go after that? Just something to consider. And, currently, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours up. Hour ago, failed to make a new high. Highest open of the day, and it came down. Now, there's something else about this trade here I want to show you. Okay, there's the money and risk management screen in case you're just now tuning in. But let me find it for you. Okay, where is it? right here. Monthly D1 lowest open, monthly H1 lowest open. You see right there? Another opportunity. I mean, see, that's why I like these horizontal lines. They don't move once they get put in. You know, with the exception of the daily and weekly, you know, it could be possible, gets a new higher. But I mean, you know, it's possible these get in. But until that happens, they're pretty much going to stay put. And you can take advantage. I mean, yeah, it's easy to see it in hindsight. But you see right here, if we were in this candle and you see what it did, I mean, you could just go ahead and say, hey, maybe, just maybe, you put your trade on, you know where your stop loss is going to be. You've got the right position size. Why not? Really, why not? I mean, it's a simple trade. Going back here, we're in the upper wick zone. So you know what happens, what you should do with the upper wick zone. On the daily, we're still below the yearly open. And you can see here, open of this week, open of the year, high of the year, high of the month, low of the month, low of the year. Oh, and by the way, this indicator went out in batch 1 of the 2019s today. And you can see right here, we're still within, we're above the monthly open, but we're still below the yearly open. And we're still within the range right here. Oh, now look here. Remember that inside bar? Once again, there was profit to be made, about 12 pips worth. I mean, these are such simple trades. And once again, it doesn't matter why you enter the trade. You just enter it, and either it works out or it doesn't. I mean, that's the simplest way to say it. Doesn't matter why. You enter the trade, and either it works out or it doesn't. And if you lose, so what? Once again, here we have it. Breakout of the previous day's high. You can see range is only 46, nobody over 100 so far today. We've already looked at this chart. Okay, there's the pivot, and there was a missed pivot that you could see. Actually, no, the pivot was here. Sorry, that's the future pivot point. Had a missed pivot. You see, price went after that missed pivot. It gapped down, so you go long, and it hit the missed pivot. Rat zone is on. Once again, we hit the weekly pivot. We missed today's pivot. So you can see here, we took out this pivot from the day before. We still have a pivot here that we missed, and one here that we missed. And now we've got one right here that we missed. But those of you who've been playing those pivots, and see here, again, that same day, Friday, you see that you had that missed pivot right here. You see how price, whoops, somehow I switched pairs. See, you had that missed pivot. It was down here, and you look at this daily chart, see how it bounced there a couple of times. Say, hey, maybe it'll take out that pivot. That, you know, would have paid off, once again, very okay, what's going on here? I can't seem to get the computer to act right. Somehow I turned off the video. I don't know where we left off, but you see, had you entered that trade down here, there was a missed pivot. You could have played towards the pivot, and it would have been a winner. You can call it a hairy hindsight trade, but we know how many missed pivots there are. 3 ball at the bottom, 3 at the top. No brainer, once again. Wick zone, in and out. There you go. Crossing above. Not much action on the tick chart. And you see, once again, using the Einstein line, it doesn't matter why I enter the trade. I just say, well, I started here. I'll go short here. I'll go long here and see what happens. So that's it, fellow traders. I hope you have a great week of trading. And just remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks like a pro.